What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Biz. And we're talking everybody's business. Why? Because I already handled mine. So today we're going to be talking about the whole Quavo and Saweetie thing. We got some poor people trying to imitate some greats on the elevator. We're going to get to them. We got Miss Megan McCain trying to stir the pot again on The View. I mean, when will she stop? And then from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Miss Jen Shah looked like she going to jail. Mary told y'all, but y'all was laughing about Mary and her granddaddy. But we gonna get to them too. And of course, we got you guys another update going on with Mr. Derek Chauvin with the whole George Floyd trial. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So we're back again with Mr. McGee and Aisha. What's going on, y'all?
Man, what's up?
So, how was y'all week? First off, how was your day?
Go ahead, sis.
Busy.
You know, funny story. A rat died in my store, and it just smelled like ass and collard green juice. And I don't know where it died. Like it's under a bunch of like computers and stuff, so I don't know how to get rid of the smell. So I'm lost for what to do right now. Do I just wait and hope that the cold just kind of like ices it over? Somebody leave in the comments. Like I'm thinking about trying to get a stray cat or a bum in there to crawl up under some stuff. I don't know. That was my day.
Yeah, dead rats. Dead rats and computers all day. It sounds like a nice day, Dave. Nice day, man.
Just another day on Jefferson Street.
There you go. Rats and crackheads, man. But hey, look, I love my people. I love my people, man.
So what's going on with you, Mr. McGee?
Man, nothing much, bro. I ain't do nothing really. Just work, just work. I'm a slave to my 9 to 5 right now until so I can get some other shit in the works. But that's it, bro. Nothing special. Nothing. My kids calling my phone begging. Like always.
So jumping right into it. Now, I really don't keep up with the pores from off of VH1 and all that, but I'm pretty sure these are two of the pores. So we had Saweetie and how do you even say this? Sawdust, Saweetie, and Quavo in the elevator. What is their names? What Quavo I got. He's somebody. He's somebody. Who is this chick?
Man, don't ask me. I butcher everybody's name, so I'm just gonna call her Sweet.
Listen. So Saweetie. So basically, I don't know if everyone's heard, but they called themselves trying to be like the broke version of Solange. Y'all remember when Beyonce was saying in the elevator, of course, some stuff going down where there's like $500 million on the elevator. Well, apparently there's some stuff going on even when there's $1.03 on the elevator. Because they decided to try to kick each other ass. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but check it out. I'm not going to play it right now. I'll post the links. I don't want YouTube and Facebook trying to censor me today. But basically in the video, it looked like what people was carrying looked like a PlayStation or Xbox bag, and Saweetie was trying to grab it, and he wasn't have that, and threw her yellow ass to the ground, and it made it a comical moment. Unlike Solange, homegirl didn't get back up. Like that was a hard toss he must have gave her. So, did you guys see the video?
I just seen maybe like freeze frame of it. I don't care, so I didn't click on it. I don't care. They supposed to have rich people problems. They got more problems, obviously, than I do or to care about. So there's that.
Yeah, I saw the video, Daniel, and don't touch my stuff, man. Don't touch my thing.
I would call it rich people problems more than I would call it lack of a better word, nigga shit. Like that's all that was. And really, I guess, but I'm gonna be real. I think it was easier to identify with this one because nobody still knows what happened on that elevator with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what happens when you get your ass kicked on the elevator. It involves another human being and somebody's mad. That's how somebody get your ass kicked because they couldn't get you at home because you might run around the little island or don't come home. But when you're in the elevator and you think shit's smooth, ass kicking just start. She ain't got the Solange in her. The Solange, hey.
I mean, and honestly, some of these chicks, Aisha, you need to talk to your girls because they're gonna learn. You can't just be throwing dudes around. Like, I mean, when you weigh a whole 80 pounds wet, like, and I'm not even counting the hair weight. Like, honestly, I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know.
You can't look. That stuff in the 1800s do not exist today. You cannot put your hands or any other objects on other people without their permission. You will get an ass whooping. Like, you can't do that, male or female. You cannot do that because who knows? Maybe she could have had a Mike Tyson punch when she hit him or did something to him and got him first. No, you can't. You just cannot put your hands on other people. Like, if you're that emotional, you need to go check yourself because you gonna pay for it in the end with a bag of ice on your eyes. So don't do it.
Yep. With a steak, you gotta get cold steak for your eye.
So apparently, coming off of USA Today, it was saying that the 90-second clip obtained by TMZ from elevator surveillance footage shows Saweetie and Quavo, real names Diamante Harper, I see why she go by the latter, 27, and Quavius Marshall, that's an ugly name too, struggling over an orange suitcase. During the incident, Saweetie appears to throw a punch at Quavo outside of the elevator before he drags her and the suitcase back in. Quavo appears to push her to the ground. In the video, Saweetie remains on the floor and later limps out of the elevator. That was a hard toss that he gave that chick, though. Basically, and what we found out when I read the article on USA Today, it was saying that this actually happened a while ago. It's just somehow TMZ nosy asses got a hold of the footage. Like,
TMZ is the police, man.
How do they do that?
Yeah, oh, Daniel, let me tell you, the way they did that is because they the police. I always thought TMZ the police. Got to be.
I mean, like, I'm still confused to how would they have obtained that like weeks after? Like, do y'all just go up to the Hyatt and stuff and just say, "Hey, let me get your elevator footage"? I think famous people went up. Like, I don't want to mess with TMZ because I feel like I'm being the elevator passenger.
Well, ain't the main guy on that show, isn't he like a lawyer or something? He's like some type of litigation type of person. Listen. So he know the law to get what he need to make him a show. Like, he took interviewing people outside people's court and made a whole new show with getting footage and all of that. He know what to do to get what he needs.
Now, I'm starting to feel like Jason Steen must work for TMZ or something, like from the Nashville Scoop, because they be on it and like they be waiting to pounce with the information too. Like, I just hope they don't catch me on the elevator, because if they hear me passing gas, like, you know, when you come in, I'm serious. Tell me I'm lying. Have you ever been like leaving work and you've been holding that gas all day and you in the elevator, like, you know, you got 15 seconds to the bottom, rip it. Rip it. Like, they get elevator from like weeks later. Like, that's so jacked up.
Hey, or you fart on the elevator and then somebody else get on, and then you just gotta kind of look in the air, look in your phone. You notice, you know, you fucking.
But you don't care what's left behind. You just don't want the footage of it. Like,
hey,
with a herb, you go. Hi, Bob. You remember how one coworker, my friend Aisha, every 5 seconds she waved at somebody so fake. Hi. That's because she had gas. But I'm gonna leave it alone. But does anybody got anything to say about this Sada, Saweetie, and Quavius Marshall? Because they're not famous people.
Yeah. I mean, this little footage came out after they what broke up and he took his car back and he just recently bought her.
I saw that. Like, now that is some black stuff. He said, nah. Just because I got this money don't mean we gonna end it like this. He had the car repoed from her. Like, that is some true gutter North Nashville finding around the block stuff there. Like, I ain't mad at him. Like,
me neither. It didn't work. If it don't work, I'll take it back. And as far as this, I don't know. The timing is weird. Like y'all said, they just broke up. He took the car back, and all of a sudden, this video dropped. I don't know, man. What the young people call it, clout chasing. Sound like clout chasing to me, man.
So maybe she gave them permission to release the video. Yeah, he drove me in the elevator over here. So get that footage. I know y'all can because he took my car back.
Yeah, that's clout chasing.
He really like she better make sure that little love and hip hop check is secure because she ain't got no car no more. She gonna be riding in the Hyundai like the rest of us real soon. Like,
she came back. She bought herself a Bentley.
She rented. She leased her Bentley.
Well, whatever. She found one on the street and took a picture bag. Borrowed somebody else's. I don't really care. Like,
yeah, she'll get with another rapper. Shoot, that's it. She'll get it with another rapper. You know, they just recycle women anyway.
So the moral of the story is just, Beyonce and Jay-Z aren't the only ones that have problems in elevators. Poor people like us too have problems. Thank you, Saweetie and Quavo. Moving on.
Hold on, real quick, Daniel, before you move on. Do y'all think that people gonna cancel Quavo? Like they canceled Ray Rice and
But here's the thing: in order to be canceled, you must have been on.
Well, Quavo's part of the Migos. Like,
what are we canceling him for? Like, she obviously started it, so we should get her right. She put her hands on him first.
There you go. I'll take it. I just want to get y'all's opinion on it. I don't think he has a reason to be canceled, but I want to ask y'all.
I mean,
why are we canceling out so much? Like,
must be canceled. That's why. I said it. They must be canceled.
Okay, but it's more of us canceling our own self than anybody else. We ain't canceling nobody else.
There you go, for real.
Why can they be rehabilitated or whatnot? Like,
okay,
some shit you do need to cancel. Now, some shit you do need to cancel and other stuff. Like, come on, y'all just getting canceling crazy. Like, who made you the judge and the jury to be canceling people?
We won't discuss this here. We'll discuss this at the next delegation meeting. Make sure your dues are paid up, and we'll discuss some type of rehabilitation for him. Whether that be making the potato salad at the next function, I don't know. But I don't eat potato salad anyway, so he's pretty much done for me.
I think we could just tell him, go on, Quavo, go and play outside. Go on now. Y'all stay away from each other.
What does this lady chick do? What does she do?
She's a rapper. So she's a rapper. She's the
Is she good?
Can I say up and coming rapper? I don't know. She's a fake ass Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. It's women rappers and Cardi B. Women rappers are the hot thing right now. So
it's a lot of them coming out from everywhere. There's just alike. They look just alike. That's rapping about the same thing that just looks just alike. Like these new rappers, they don't have no type of message, no sense. None. Some of the shit don't even have words to it. It's just the sound. And we no. So look, I got some sounds I can make. Put me in the studio. Can I get some money, some millions for what they do? Because I don't think I'm so, man. You could turn it like, that's your album right there.
Now, real quick, I wanted to jump on this. I know that Aisha was going to dip for a second, but real quick before you go, Miss Jen Shah, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, I done said it. I saw it coming. She was a fraud. Mary and her grandpappy done told y'all about this chick. So, y'all, apparently, Jen Shah has been running like some type of telemarketing scam, trying to steal money from old folks and computer illiterate people. Now, with all the scam included, it's still not reported, but between her and her associate that was doing this, bitch is facing 50 years. Like, can we just say it? She's facing like 50 years of time. So, Aisha, I know you watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City too. What did you think about? What do you think about all this?
Well, I think she need to go to jail because how she was on the show. Fuck the fraud. Like, just send her fake ass to jail because of how she was on the show. Like, she irritated my soul on that show. Like, you could tell it was like she was just crazy. She and they all called her out on it when they went to that little retreat thing. They was like, raise your hand if you don't trust Jen. Everybody.
Mary was just sitting there the whole season because I don't like you. Like, you're not my friend. But I'm going to say this. Like, I don't know about her going to jail, but her face was on Arrested Development with that horrible plastic surgery since I first debuted on the screen. Like, she looks horrible. Like, I'm not trying to be mean.
She has to look like she looks like a clown.
Her face.
She looks like a clown. She kind of looked like she's some kin to Michael Jackson. I don't know what's going on. She's the other Jackson.
She looks bad from. Like, I don't know. She looks like, you remember the Gremlins? Y'all remember that show, the Gremlins?
Yes.
Not, after they had threw the water on the Gremlins and then they had really looked messed up. That's how Jen Shah looked. She looked like post-storm Gremlin. Like, she looks terrible. And honestly, like, as far as her relationship.
Why, if you got a husband that is so-called have money, because you're on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm not sure about that city, if you have to have money to live there, but most of them have money, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming. But for you to be running some type of scam on old people like that, pretending to be a call center and scamming them, just abusing the old people. Wasn't you just crying about somebody saying you smell like a hospital, and now you over here scamming the old people?
Well, I know where what you heard no more because she don't smell like federal penitentiary. I don't like I mean, the thing is though, like, I think for me, she was a fraud from the beginning. And I remember on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the reunion, when they asked her about what she did, the answer was so incoherent. I remember just looking at like, what is she talking about? Like, just say what you do. She does something in IT. I'm like, girl, you look like you got as much intelligence as a Q-tip. Talking about some IT job. Yeah, I get what you was doing there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I take all y'all old ass money in the basement of my home. Like, why did you throw that party? Why was you doing all of that? You was just too extra and you knew you didn't have no money. You knew you didn't have no money. Why did you do all of that?
I'm gonna be real. All of Mary fashions look like 10 years from ago. Like the rest of them chicks,
Mary looked like she had a little lamb. That's how she looked.
The rest of them look like they had the agent from Caldwell Banker buy their homes for them and show them their home. Like they don't have money. They got like season 1 leaks. I'm trying to front in this townhouse money. Like they don't got money. Like I feel like I don't know anything about Salt Lake City, but first off, I don't feel like you got to be lifestyles of the rich and famous to live in a place called Salt Lake City. I mean, maybe we need to.
I don't think it's the money part. I think it's more so the religion because Mormons are out there. Yeah. And so they live a different type of way that I don't care nothing about. So I would just move out there to just raise hell.
I do the one chick look like Hulk Hogan. You know, the one with the broad shoulders and the big back. Man, she looked like she was a linebacker for the 49ers. Tell me I'm lying. Then they had the other one. Now honestly, that white girl was fine. She looked like a chick from off of like a Playboy movie. Like
which one? The other blonde or the other two?
Do you know the little blonde that had the voice too? The one
with the old man.
Yeah, if this don't work,
denounce stuff from the church. I like her because she don't give a damn what the church is saying. She got her sugar daddy and she wrote him the hell the fuck on in, and she don't give a damn what nobody say. I like her because y'all already talking about me and I don't give a damn.
I mean, really, like, I just think as far as I wonder if Jen gonna be back because I remember for New Jersey, what was her name? Teresa. She came back in the midst of all the foolishness. We've had a few of them housewives.
But Teresa had plenty of seasons on TV. You came in fraudulent. Your ass ain't coming back. You ain't. The old people. You didn't even just do tax fraud. You got the old people.
Listen, somebody had told me when I was working at Shurian, that's all I had to do on the phone to be living like lifestyle rich and famous. Then I would have my fur like Jen. Like Jen. Like I ain't mad at her. Hate the player, don't hate the game. She did what I don't. And first off, her man ain't making that kind of money. I wish there was something.
No,
he's a college assistant coach. Like, just stop for football. Like,
what? You ain't even a real coach.
Like, and I don't know what team or what college he do. What college is he coaching for? Strayer University,
Bethlehem University,
Line, Webster. What are we doing here?
Middlemont University, the Friday.
Get your ass up and come on to school. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's what we waiting for right there. Shoot. Jen telling y'all how to get the money and y'all won't sign up. Anyway, you got anything else to say about this one? Like,
she need to go to jail just because how she act on the show, and then throw in some extra years for her crime of doing it to them old people. Like, I don't think she gonna make it. To be honest, she's frail as shit on the show. I don't know how you gonna make it in the thing.
I heard is the Botox injections to the cheek. She in trouble. What they say? Oh, Molly, you in danger, girl. She in trouble. She is in trouble. So prayers up for Jen. We should be going till November. We're gonna move on.
Jen.
Bye, Jen. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but on The View, like, that was a big thing that was coming up.
Okay.
They're always getting into the political stuff a lot on The View. You got Whoopi, you got Sunny and Joy, but that damn Megan McCain is always running her mouth about something. So recently, Megan McCain made a statement, and for me, it came across like maybe one of the producers said something about her job security or something that was going on, but she basically made the comment. She implied that her job security may be in jeopardy due to identity politics. Now, when I was listening to the comment, it was really coming across like she was trying to say that, hey, that it seems more important for entertainers right now to really be about more so focused on, well, those in the industry and getting minorities on the screen versus let's try to get the most qualified person. So I don't know how you guys felt about that one, but my whole thing is like, as usual, Megan McCain is sticking her foot in her mouth. Do you get her statement though? It was more so like she feels that as a white woman that her job may be in danger because networks are trying to promote the idea of diversity. Yeah. And what she was saying, I'm gonna be real, to play devil's advocate a little bit. I could slightly see what type of point that she was making. My problem with it though is I don't feel like I think Megan McCain should just shut the hell up. I mean, like, lack of a better word.
Yeah, and her name is Karen what?
I mean, here's the thing. And I think that's the biggest thing with it. Like, I know Megan McCain is the daughter of John McCain. So when we think of white women who say and do stuff like this, most often, a lot of us are questioning like the entitlement. We see them as being entitled. And when she's making a statement like that, it would be different if it was coming across from a Karen that we may meet on the side of the street who's saying, well, I don't feel like, I should feel insecure in my job because I'm a white woman and y'all just want a minority because they're a minority over me. But it seems like the white women who are constantly getting involved with shit like this, it seems like an entitlement thing. And here we go. Megan McCain, I don't think you're equipped to sit next to a Joy Bayer, to sit next to a Whoopi Goldberg or Sunny Hostin, and these women who have extensive careers. Like, who are you?
Her last name got her that job.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, her last name got her that job. And then this is what I want to know, Daniel, is, all right, why do we always have to speak about qualifications, right? Like, who's to say that these people, Asian, Black, or whatever, is not qualified to sit at that table? And when it comes to qualifications, you're the least qualified person speaking about qualifications. That was what's crazy to me.
I mean, my thing is, I get it. Like, everyone is entitled to their feelings, and like, I don't get what she's saying, but I feel the fact that she said she is working for the network. I feel like it's probably coming from an honest place. She feels it's an honest place, but the problem I think with most Black people and minorities across the boat have with white women is like, you say stuff like this, but you're not thinking about how you come across. Like, girl, you're the daughter of John McCain. What problems can you possibly have that makes you feel entitled to speak on a platform about your job security? I mean, you ain't Oprah. Like, I remember reading those stories. Tell me if you remember this. Like, you remember hearing stories about how when Oprah was coming up with her career, how it was a constant, battle. Like, she's a Black, dark-skinned, heavy-set Black woman. And she's up against all of these white, powerful journalists for a time. Like, that's a woman who I could hear saying, I'm concerned about my job security. Or maybe even like a groundbreaking journalist woman like a Diane Sawyer or Barbara Walters, because they were groundbreaking. They were opening doors for everyone. But Megan McCain,
I'm gonna say this, man. All right, so I don't know, man. To me, it's kind of like fear mongering, man. It's like, especially Caucasian people in America, they've been doing a fear mongering thing since the beginning of time. It's like, okay, if we have affirmative action where we say, okay, you need to diversify your place of employment, then white people was just like, no, don't we? That's not fair. That's not fair to us that you guys want to, that we must include, must include other races. So you got affirmative action. And then even like the Trump supporters was like, let's keep the immigrants out because they're taking our jobs. It's always that they're taking our jobs syndrome. And it's like, no one's taking your jobs. We're 13% of the population. So if it's 100 employees, damn, can we at least get 13? Like, can we at least be represented in the workplace like we are in America? That's it.
Do you feel, though, as a minority, that to play devil's advocate, because I really want to know. Sometimes I look at The View and it's her perspective that makes me stay tuned in because it's so divergent. And sometimes you gotta know what some of these white people are going home and thinking. You may not agree, but it's healthy for you to know what is the silent battle in America really about. Do you feel that white people are afraid of where they see most of the workplace is headed now? Do you feel like they are being pushed out, or
No, No, I don't. I don't at all. I think that's propaganda and it's fear. It's fear mongering. Is no, white people are the majority of this country, so they're always going to be the majority of this country, and they're highly represented. Like we can talk about these small jobs, but let's go look at the Forbes top 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 13 black people on there, so we're not represented in when it comes to real big corporate billionaires. We're not represented in equal numbers. So no, I just think that's fear mongering. She doesn't have anything to worry about her job. The Mexicans and the blacks and the Asians are not coming to take your jobs. That's this. I don't know. It's like every 10 years we have to have this conversation, and nothing's changed. It's popping for a minute and then it just dies down, and then black people start getting mad and it's like, yo, we're signing up for these jobs and we ain't getting them. So just because one or two black people get them, it's not finna be a epidemic of black people and immigrants and Mexicans taking jobs. That's just a problem.
This like
been proven.
Going to college and then going in the workplace. And I'm gonna be real. Like my last couple years, I spent at an HBCU, and then after I finished school, like I started working. The most, I guess, hard thing about going into the workplace after being educated and feeling like you're going to be put on an equal footing is finding out as a black person, like, no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. You literally watch classmates and friends and people get jobs that I'm going to be real, like they were not entitled to. It's like this person knew this person. So Lil George is going to get the job. In this case, Lil Megan McCain is going to get the job based off of the esteem of her name. For me, that comes across as almost like a reparations type of situation. Like it's a further slap in the face to minorities because it's like we don't even have the footing so we can do that for our other black and brown brothers. You know what I mean? Like there are still like, I don't know how many black people have worked on jobs like this where you're like the only one. And there was
I'm not there, bro.
Who opens the door for you? Who vouches for you? And so as much as I want to understand her point, like it's just as a minority, it comes across as extremely disrespectful to, you're just ignorant to our struggles. Like, do you really not understand? Like, hey, I'm be real, I wouldn't even work for some of these white people. I would have never worked for some of these white people if I didn't have to. I'm gonna be real. Like, I think most people, I mean, we desire like self-sufficiency. We desire to have our own businesses and cater to our own communities as well, just same way white people do. But we can't. And when we hear statements like this, it's like, you're so tone deaf. You're so tone deaf.
Yeah, I think you made a great point earlier though, bro. It's like now when she said that, it's probably a million or a couple million white people that heard that and was like, preach, girl, preach. Like you're killing it right now, sis, because there's a lot of people who think like that. So that is great for the show. And I'm gonna be honest. She said it. She said it. She said what she said. She stood on her square. I don't think she should be disciplined for it.
I don't.
I know.
I'm gonna be real. Like we were just talking about the whole cancel culture with Saweetie Quavo. I think we need to be careful about canceling people just because they have their own opinion.
Yes.
If we ain't canceling Lil Nas X and some of these outrageous people, like there was nothing wrong with her having her opinion. She gets paid to have her opinion.
Yep.
Honestly, it's an opinion shared, I would probably guess, by millions of people. Like
absolutely
enough white people who would probably back that opinion. So
absolutely, and that's good for the view. That's good to keep. And plus, nobody really wants an echo chamber. You know what I mean? You don't want an echo chamber. You don't want to turn on to the view every day and everybody's agreeing. You want, like you said, you want the devil's advocate. You want somebody on that show to say, hey, listen, either I'm playing devil's advocate or I'm not. I am devil's advocate. This is how I feel. And you need that. It's good.
What's crazy about it is when I look at The View, like I agree sometimes when I look at like listen to Whoopi Goldberg talk, but I'm gonna be real. The person on that show that I dislike the most is not Meghan McCain. It is that damn Joy Behar because it's like she's so liberal, and when she speaks in regards to minorities, she's almost acting like as if she is one of us. Like you're black. It offends me when white people start like, okay, like you can yell Black Lives Matter, but please, please remember, you're not black. Like there's a limitation to your action.
It's like, yeah, it's like you can help. It's like you can help, but don't be extra with it. Like I always tell this story, Daniel. I went to the Nashville protest we had here. When when they did all that, they said the riots was going on, and it was definitely white people spray painting Black Lives Matter.
It looked like more of them.
I'm like, look at this white. Like nobody's gonna tell this. Nobody's gonna say nothing to this white girl that spray paint BLM everywhere and saying Black Pride. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I don't know. Are they agents or do they want to be invited to the cookout so bad that when they get to the cookout they don't know how to act?
It feels like a lot of times, like white people like that gravitate to black people as a rebellion against their own families and parents. It has nothing to do with us, especially when I looked at what was going on with a lot of these Black Lives Matter protests. Like, I'm gonna be real, it's more easy for me to have an opinion with or share something with somebody like a Meghan McCain, who I feel like they're authentic. They're being their authentic self. It may be ignorant, it may be different than what I would feel or what I would want, but it's authentic. Then, on the flip side, we see like these kids who just want to burn shit up because they want to burn stuff up. Like, wait a minute. Like, we didn't come out here to burn stuff. We came here for Black Lives Matter. Like, y'all are out here for a different initiative, and you're using us to push agendas.
Yeah,
that's what I see a lot of. So my thing is, I don't agree with what she said, but I'm gonna still say this: big ups to Meghan McCain. I got your back, because these people shouldn't be railroading you for having your opinion.
That's it. And I want to piggyback off what you said, Daniel. I like you said that, man, because listen, if a person has, I guess I could call it anti-black sentiments, go ahead and put that out on Front Street. Yeah, don't sneak around me like we're cool, and then when I say, yo, black people are thinking about making this move, then you like, nah, that's too far, and then you go snitch on me. No, I want the white person right there in my face, like, no, if you do that, I'm going to snitch on you. Like, I don't like it. You're finna do something stupid, I'm going to snitch on you. Don't tell me it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, give me. I want it to be overt. If you're racist, I want overt racism. And a lot of people get mad at Trump and Meghan McCain. I like to see them, because I know when I see them, they don't respect me. They don't like me. They don't have the same ideas as I do. You know what I mean? But real quick, Daniel, salute to everybody tuned in, man. While y'all tuned in, hit the like button, share button. Beautiful platform this brother Daniel got. The Biz Nashville, it's a great platform. I'm always honored to be on this platform, so y'all make sure y'all support. Sorry about that, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna use this as the second. Make sure you do hit like and subscribe. Leave your comments if you agree or disagree. It don't matter to me, but I will share that. We will talk about it. The whole thing is, though, like, it is. I feel like Meghan McCain is an authentic white chick, and honestly, like, I'd rather be around somebody who is authentic than somebody who is fake any day. When I go to a lot of these Black Lives Matter things and I see them and I see the type of white people that are there, it feels like I'm always questioning, like, why are you here? And more often, it feels like the last thing on their mind has anything to do with Black Lives Matter, but it's more so about pushing agendas. And that's what we constantly see. Even when we look at, like, who heads Black Lives Matter, and, like, it feels like the people who are pushing the most for stuff have other initiatives. No shade, but they're pushing for women's rights. They're pushing for gay rights. They're pushing for all these liberal causes. They're pushing Black people to join up with all of these different legislations that they want us to support so they can get their candidates out. They ain't doing a damn thing for Black people, but they know that the tension is just there and it's right for the cause for them. You know, like, I think that was a big thing with this election right here. And like, truly, I can't denounce every Trump supporter. A lot of them were just authentic.
Oh shit, Daniel.
No. Y'all
shit, let's get it.
No. Like, seriously, like, you can say what you want about it, but America has been sleeping with that bed of crazy for a minute. And like, it was refreshing over the last 4 years of Donald Trump for us to finally see authentic people. Like, okay, you are basically telling me that you don't want Black people to lead, that you don't want Mexican people in your country. This is your country. This is what you value. I'm like, while I don't agree with that, at least I know I can put a face to my anger and we can at least have some dialogue. Right. Now, since Biden has gotten in office, I'm going to be real. It feels like just like what a lot of us knew was going to happen. Black people are rocking to sleep.
Yes.
The problems that we fought for under Trump and we were all bitching and complaining about, they're not solved. They're not solved. And in fact, like, look how many, what was it? All of these mass shootings that just took place recently. Like, do you remember every mass shooting under President Trump? Like, the news had a field day with it. But now it's kind of like, oh, so-and-so got shot in Colorado. Let's talk about it for 5 minutes. I'm like, no. Like, where is Biden old ass at? Like, is he still keeping up? Or we gonna talk about this?
Hey, I love it, Dave. I love it, bro. I gotta have you on my platform. I didn't know this was your stance, and it's dope that you're telling me because this, bro. Everything you're saying is exactly how I feel. And I went on a tirade for 8 months. Election year, trying to tell people like, yo, Biden is going to rock us back to sleep. Yes, and you guys, we're voting for the wrong reason. We're voting Biden because he's not Trump. And I'm like, yo, no other race votes like that. We vote emotionally. We're too we're an emotional people. And we spend our money emotionally. We vote emotionally. We're just too emotional to.
And the thing about it is, here's the thing. On The View, we have Sunny Hostin. We have Whoopi Goldberg, 2 Black women. If they had a problem with it, I don't want to hear delayed reactions on emotions. Be like Megan McCain and be authentic and say, well, you know what, bitch? Like, we're in this workplace and we're not going anywhere. I have a problem with your opinion because you don't know the hills and valleys that I had to tread to be up here sitting next to you. The thing is, Black people need to learn how to start addressing stuff and just like all the social media stuff, like, you know, I'm going to be real. Like, when I had a problem with my employer, you best believe I was that Negro who was running up to HR complaining and cutting up because, you know, I know my worth, number one. I know who I am. I know what my integrity is. And so when you see people who are saying comments like this, if it offends you, say something and do something about it. Like, I'll give you up. Like, do something about it or sit your ass down and let her have her opinion.
That's it. That's it. But I love it. I love what you said, man. And yeah, like you said, man, salute Megan McCain. I'm sure we have totally different ideologies, but and this is America. You have the right to your opinion, free speech. So say what you say. I appreciate it. Put it out there. And like I said, I'm a guy who, when I watch a program, especially a talk program, every once in a while, or I ain't gonna lie, I'm with the shit. So majority of the time, I want to see a difference of opinion. I want her to say that and get Whoopi all mad and Joey. And now I'm watching like, oh, are they finna fight? What's it? Are they finna fight? You know what I'm saying? I like it. So keep going, Megan.
But the thing is, speaking to her point, though, I'm going to be real. Like, The View does not do a good job at picking representation of people. I'm going to be real. Like, I'll be real. Whoopi Goldberg, she's iconic, like across the board. And this is no shade to her. Do you think her opinion is really that of Black America? Really represent our parents' generation? Does she speak to ours? I feel like she's out of touch and she's removed. And I feel like the way she has lived her life, she's always been removed. She would have always been removed, even without the fame.
Didn't she date Ted Danson?
I thought she did marry a white man. I thought she had her.
I think she was married to Ted Danson.
And it's crazy.
Cheers guy, the guy from Cheers.
And what's crazy about it too is like those are things that she never talks about on this platform. She's just always so pro-Black and down with the people. I'm like, most down woke Black people are not doing that. So when Megan is speaking and saying a comment like this, whilst I don't agree from the angle she's coming from, there is some truth to it. Like where there's smoke, there's fire. What I heard was a woman who's afraid of her job security because she is a conservative white woman who feels like she has an opinion that should actually be deemed worthy of being heard on this platform. I'm going to be real. I don't think Whoopi Goldberg is fit to be on that platform. Sunny Hostin, I'm gonna be real. I'm so tired. I know I'm gonna get flagged for this. I get kind of tired of when I hear mixed people who have not really had to deal with the struggles of being Black.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't do that. Like, you don't know what it is to be this. Like, I'm gonna be real. You don't know what it feels like to be this. I'm like, it feels like most of her career, she's been Puerto Rican, Latina, and she kind of dibbles and dabbles. And 1 minute she's
whenever she wants to
be pro-Black woman. Like, it's too much sometimes.
I love it. I love you said that. And I'm gonna tell you who brought that to my attention, right? Because growing up, man, the mixed people I knew, they pretty much picked a side. Yeah, some mixed people was just like, no, I don't fuck with y'all dark skinned guys. I mean, and I'm thinking high school days, right? So some mixed people just didn't hang with the Black people. They hung with the white people. Then you got other mixed people that strictly hung with the Black people. But when I start talking to people that's in the UK, in London, and places like that, they will let you know, like, mixed people are cool, but they not us. When I talk to Black people in London, that was like, yeah, they cool, but they not us.
It's a different.
The first time I really had to think about that, like, oh, you're right. The experience is different.
Experience.
Let me ask you something real quick, Daniel. So someone told me this. If you have a Black father, if you're a mixed person and you have a Black father, you're more likely. No, was it the mother or the father? I think they said you're more likely to go to the mother's side of the family. So if you have a Black, do you think it's Black mother or Black father? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask you.
I feel like with the possibility of sounding ignorant, I think it has a lot to do with complexion and economics, more so than what it has to do with any of that. I feel like we see white people, we see mixed people sometimes, they will spend their life being like, a nigga. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, let's be real. They will spend their life being that way, but the second they see it opportune, suddenly, they want to be light skinned, damn near white. Like it. I feel the struggles of a mixed person. I will never know. I won't, and I don't want to speak down on it, but I want them to respect the fact that they don't know what it is to be Black. And as much as we do fight for equality, the race isn't run so all of us are experiencing equitable trauma as a result of racism. Like a light-skinned Black dude is not experiencing the same thing as me. I will never experience the same hurdles that our grandparents experienced.
Yes.
A Hispanic woman who's been in this country for 5 minutes, you don't know shit about racism in America. To be very real, like you will get there, but you don't know shit. My thing is, like, I think we need to be honest with ourselves with those conversations and really say like, there are levels to this stuff. There's levels to it. Like, I feel like Meghan McCain was speaking as an authentic, wealthy white woman. And as much as we want to fault her, there was no lies detected. Like, there was no lies detected.
No.
The people who I see on The View who are constantly regurgitating the most myths, honestly, is Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and then they have that other commentator. It's another Puerto Rican woman who they bring on there from time to time, and
all liberals. They're all liberals, right? All of these
they're all liberals. And like, I'm gonna be real. Most Black people do not support everything in the Democratic Party. If we want to speak,
talk to him, Dave.
No, I mean, like, honestly, and again, it's no shade. Like, I don't see my mother as a Democratic person supporting abortion. I don't see her supporting all of these other initiatives that the Democratic Party pushes. Why we support the Democratic Party has very little to do with what the Democratic Party gives Black people or our stance with the party. It has more so to do about the denial of women like Meghan McCain at times from seeing our point of view.
It's emotional. It's emotional, like I said earlier, right?
It is. Like, and honestly, I feel like as Black people, I'm gonna be real. We need to really consider, very, very real. Like, we need to consider switching back to a conservative party. I believe that.
I say
party represents Black America more so than the Democratic Party at this point.
And I have a different approach. I say we boycott the whole system and negotiate. That's me. I think if we opt out, right? I know. All right, let's talk about it. We here that day. We here. All right. So my ideology is, and I went on every 4 years I go on this tirade. I feel like if we opt out, and the numbers show that Black people in mass numbers did not vote, like mass. I know people are going to say, we didn't vote this election or the past. No, I mean mass. We need the whole collective, and we just opt out. I think we would have more leverage, because right now we're just being played by the Democrats. Like you're saying, you're pretty much saying the same thing. Like, the Democrats are going to keep playing us as long as they know we're going to vote for them. So I think if we opt out and just say, look, we're not, or even threaten them. You got a good idea. If we opt out from the Democrats and threaten them and say, yo, we're going to vote for the Republicans this election, I think the Democrats will really sit us down at the table and say, okay, what can we do to make y'all come back and vote for us? But I'm saying opt out of both of them. Let's just say, hey, Republicans, you know we don't fuck with you. Democrats, we're not doing this year. We're just going to opt out and sit this one out, and whoever wins, wins. I think then it would be like a bidding war. So then you got the Republicans fighting for the Black vote and the Democrats fighting.
And that's really what needs to go on right now, because I feel like we know that our votes really is what made or broke this election, however you want to look at it. Like, if we had all decided, no, we don't want to vote for Biden because he's not giving us the money we wanted, honestly, instantly Trump would have been president. Instantly. And everyone knows this now. We got a commenter who was saying Black people issues are less political than the two parties make it. I agree with that on the basis of this. I feel like, just like what you were saying, it's emotions tied into it, but at the same time, as Black people, we're still trying to gain the right of being seen as people and as Americans, and we don't have time sitting right here. I don't care if you gay, you straight, you old, you grew up in the poor house, the rich house. It don't matter. When you Black, I feel like we all come into one monolith when it says what's most important to us first is being seen as human and being received.
Yes.
And the issues that we mainly are concerned about, it ain't got nothing to do with money. Like, we know what it is to be poor. Right? I feel like way too many of us have struggled than would care about, an election per se. We would vote for the candidate who was morally going to respect us first before we even entertain some of these other foolish candidates that be jumping up.
And I say tangibles. We should vote for the person who's going to give us tangibles, not hope. What did Obama run on? We're going to give you hope. We don't want hope. We don't want maybe, and we'll see
in your belly. Like, and I'm gonna be real. Like, there has come a time, and you know, I look at the Bible when I think of stuff like.
Keep talking. Hey, my bad, Daniel. Keep talking, bro. Somebody's at my damn door. Keep talking.
Like, I feel like there comes a time when really you got to look at it and you got to be like, hey, just like Moses, there's a time when we got to leave the city. And then here comes Joshua. There's a time when we got to prepare to fight and we got to prepare for war. There's a time next when we're going to have to actually develop ourselves as a population, as a group of people, but we can't keep sitting back and doing the same thing. Like, that's enough with the whole hope mantra. We need more going on than hope. Now we got another commenter who's jumped in and they're saying preach. So the thing I would ask our audience people now is, hey, what did y'all think about Meghan McCain's whole comment? Do you feel like she was all the way wrong? Do you feel like you kind of understood where she was coming from? Or do you feel like maybe this is just a white woman being a white woman? Make sure you leave that and kind of let us know what you were thinking about that. Now, also, again, make sure you like it and subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you are leaving your comments and your feedback.
Back.
But yeah, like that's kind of how I feel about that one.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on, Daniel, and like I said, man, people, if people are tuned in to my platform, they know every election year I try to. I don't tell people how to vote and what to do, but my stance has always been let's just take one election off and see what happened. Like what can we lose? We don't have anything to lose. Let's just take one and say I'm taking my ball and going home. I'm gonna take my ball and go home and see what happens.
I need 1 second too. So you keep talking.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, as he said, man, hit the like button, the share button, subscribe button, all of that good stuff, man. This is a great platform. Make sure y'all leave the comments, man. You know what I mean? We're reading comments today. Let's make sure we leave them. Robert L. Drake says she rattled the caged monkeys. Leave Miss Megan alone. Yeah, that's another thing. We always want to get up in arms and cancel people and tell people they can't say that. Nah, man, this is America. And this is her country, her people. You know who her father was? Her father was John McCain. He was real powerful. He's a hero to white people. A hero of war. And look at me, I'm a black man and don't even study John McCain, but I know he was a war vet. I think they said he was a prisoner of war. I think they said he went to war and was a prisoner of war and survived that. Like, he's a war hero. So
now we got a comment that Megan rattled the caged monkey. Leave Miss Megan alone. Man, I'm gonna leave that one alone. We got to move on. We not been spending too much time on Meghan McCain.
Yeah,
now,
we did.
The story that all of us should be following, the big thing that we all got going on and what we've all been seeing in the news is the George Floyd situation with this whole Derek Chauvin. So I don't know if everybody's been keeping up, but you need to keep up with it. You need to kind of at least watch and be aware of what's been happening with it. So today, in today's court case, what we saw going on was the paramedics actually testified, and what they were saying was, I'll read it word for word. Two paramedics on the witness stand Thursday afternoon in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, and told jurors George Floyd appeared to be in a medical distress or dead when they arrived at the scene. Jurors listened to their testimony and watched body camera footage from an officer inside the ambulance on Wednesday. They sat through hours of police body camera videos. Now, that came out of USA Today. Okay. Now, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention and keeping up with it, but I remember yesterday, me and Aisha were talking about it. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was, I was watching, I don't know if you looked at it, but the trial and what all was going on. And I remember just seeing those body cam footages, the witness footages and the comments that were being made, the man was basically murdered right on the road.
Yes.
And I don't know why we have to go through all of this to just lock this white man up. Like,
all right, okay, but we know the history of this, right? We know you can name a name, right? Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, like just name like this is white people have been murdering black people with impunity since the beginning of time. So I guess I want to go ahead and ask you, Daniel, prediction: is George Chauvin going to jail or is he going home?
He's definitely going to jail, but the reason I know he's going to jail is because the family was awarded, what is it, like $27 million. They would not, and I think that's why his lawyers were so concerned about the speed of which the trial was going to go. They know he's going to jail for some time. What they're doing now is they're making an appeal to lessen the time. To be very clear, manslaughter is not what this is. A lot of people really don't get and read up on this, but I feel like as Black people, we need to know what these words mean, because many of us are going to find ourselves in the face of a judge at some times, and to be very, very real, like we need to know like legal definitions of shit like this. Manslaughter is not the same thing as murder. Even with I think it's second degree manslaughter that he's being charged with. Manslaughter on its own in most cities and states, the jurisdiction limit I believe is like 7 years. I believe for like second degree it may be like 14 or something. Mm-hmm. With that being said, this man may, I feel like he may get 3 years. And with everything going on with this COVID stuff, I don't even believe all 3 years will be behind bars. Like, that is what we as Black people have to face.
Has he been behind bars? I heard this earlier. I don't know how true it is. I heard he's been behind bars.
But he was probably released on bond, I thought.
Okay, all right. That means I got misinformation.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up in a second. But
look it up.
The whole thing with that is like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm not surprised at the status of this trial. It's like, I mean, if I want to be really real and leave emotion out of it, what we saw was a white man kill a nigga on the side of the road.
Yes.
Everybody stood and watched. You know, we live in a generation now where it's more acceptable and we're more inclined to videotape versus jump in and do something about it.
World star.
We watched the man being executed. And what's sad about it is, I think at the moment, that's the thing about this generation. We don't realize what's going on at the moment. And what was going on at the moment, I don't think they realized was the actual murder of a man. We saw a woman who was standing there and she gave her testimony the other day. She is a first responder. And at being a first responder, she was saying, you know, she knew that he was in distress. She knew that this was a bad situation. The Black man that watched, he was saying the same thing. There were kids who testified. At that time, they were children. Now they're legal, but they weren't showing their face for the trial. But the thing is, they were saying how it just haunts them still because they wish they had done something. I think they were saying, as what we as Black people can start doing is, when we see shit like this with the police, it's not enough to pull out your phone. That is listen to me. Listen very clearly. I don't care what y'all do for everybody else, but if you see the police throwing my Black ass down, don't pull out your phone. Yeah. Matter of fact, I will be more hurt and disrespected by you pulling out the phone versus you either walking away or jumping in to assist and aid me. Like, you know, as a human being, what's acceptable and what's tolerable. And what we're seeing, I really feel like with this generation, before I even get on the trial, is like a breakdown of just moral and sensible norms. Like, put your fucking phone down.
Yeah.
This man, there was like 8 people who saw this man basically being murdered on the side of the road. This is a grown man yelling out for his mother. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, looking at the other day, I had to change the channel because A, I was at work, and B, it was kind of emotional. Like,
I haven't tuned in, Daniel. The reason I haven't tuned in because history shows me he's not going to jail. He's not going to be charged. If he's charged, it'll be like you said, manslaughter and maybe some time served or something like that, man. So that's why I haven't even been tuned in because I think it's a movie that I've seen before. Me personally, I think he's gonna get off. Then Black Lives Matter is gonna swoop in, and we're gonna protest for a day, maybe 2 days, and then we're gonna forget about it and go back to work. That's why I it's like me. I want to try something drastic to get a drastic or a different outcome. That's it. Like,
one of the things that we need to start doing in our community is being reactors to situations like this. Like, we got to be on the front lines before this happens.
facts.
And when you see yourself involved in something like this, for Black men and women at this point who find themselves in situations like this, you got to understand, like, when you're up against your Goliath, you either got Jesus Christ on your side or you need to shut the hell up and fold. I'm going to be real. The most important thing is to go home at the end of the night. And that's the one thing that my father, I mean, you can have all the integrity, you can be right. And I was looking at him even on Friday. This is probably the best advice that you're going to get out of the Friday series. When Pops looked at him and said, you know, you fight with this.
Yeah.
You know, but you live to fight another day.
Another day.
Sometimes you got to fold. You got to know when to fold. And I feel like when you're on your own, you have to really be vigilant about knowing what you're facing. You got to leave emotion out of it as a Black person and say, I don't care. I got my kids to go home to. I got my life to live.
Yeah.
I got so much. And you know what? I guess I got to suck it up like my ancestors and just see and just accept the fact that they see another nigga. Like that's what it is. That's what it is. But on the flip, when there are other people, when I could not imagine me standing on the sidelines and seeing one man take you down, and there's 8 of us. Like, are we that mentally fucked in the head?
We are. We are. We're scared.
Do all this. Like, we got one out of shape white man with his knee in your back, and there's 5, 6 of us. Damn it. I may get clubbed, but I cannot watch you die. Like, I can't do it. So I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm so mind fucked at the fact that people actually sat there and they watched something like this.
No, I agree. And you know what I think? We're scared. We're scared. And you know why? And I always say it's dangerous when we watch these videos. The dangerous thing about watching these videos, Daniel, is because when mothers, right? We know it's single mothers in our community, right? Yeah. So single mothers watch these videos with their sons. They tell their sons, look, don't mess with these cops because this will happen to you, right? And after generations of don't mess with these cops, they will harm you, they will kill you, they will lock you up for no reason. We are taught that fear is passed down. And I think America does a great job of showing us don't mess with cops. You know what I mean? Like, they're saying don't mess with cops. In these videos, when we watch the George Floyd video, the underlying message in that is, Black man, don't mess with cops. Civilians, record instead of jumping in because these cops will kill you. And that is what's happening to us, and we're scared, bro. That's why it's 8 people recording and no one's helping. No one's thinking, yo, it's 8 of us. He can't kill all of us.
I mean, and honestly, this is some plantation thinking. Like, I'm gonna be very real. It's like, oh, run when you see the slave catchers. Like, come on now. I mean, one of the things why I do like this new Generation Z of group of kids that's coming up is because they got so many I don't give a F's left in them. Like, they don't care. Like, these people, they've been playing Call of Duty too much. Like, they ready to give up their life at the drop of a dime. Like they got.
And listening to Quavo. They've been listening to Quavo too, Daniel.
I'm gonna be real. Like I guess I should say that my old ass want to go home. Like I'm being real. But I'm gonna say, and we got a commenter who said the same thing. You know, this is a national historical news. This should have been played in middle schools and high schools. I think our country is not even ready to grapple with this and explain this to this generation. These conversations that we're having, and this is what I'm saying, like women like Whoopi Goldberg and these people that are on The View, like they do a disservice to Black people. Like, no, I'm tired of y'all sitting right there saying, well, I had to have this private conversation with my son. No, you need to have a public conversation with your kids. You need to be in the Piggly Wiggly and be able to say, that cracker right there will kill you if you don't know how to act right. That's why you got to look them straight in the eye, tell them who you are. You got to carry yourself in a way that A, I demand respect.
Yes.
B, I'm not going to die today. Understand that I am going home, but when I get home, somebody's there with me. That's the breakdown in our society. Like, we need our moms and our dads in the home. We don't just need to see the pitiful single woman crying on the TV screen when the Black man is shot up, Black woman is dead. Like, no, there needs to be somebody, angry daddy and uncle on the TV ready to burn shit down, because that's the reality. Like, that's what real Black people are feeling. Like, I feel like right now as a society, like, we're still not ready to grapple with it. That's what's crazy. Like, I'm going to be real, as a pessimist, this is going to go on for a long, long time to come, because as a people, we're not ready to, as Black people, we're not ready to really do what it's going to take to stop it. And honestly, it's not going to take us rioting. I don't feel like that. It's not going to take us marching. It's going to take us collectively saying no. And if it happens again, it's not going to be stuff that we tear up. And I'm going to leave it at that. Like, it just needs to be a collective statement. There ain't no way in the world. I oftentimes have had these conversations with my brothers and stuff. Yeah. Like, if somebody killed your brother, I could not see. I'm a law-abiding person. I believe in the Lord, believe in the Bible and hallelujah and all that. But let me just tell you something. Like, the court would be the last thing that man has to worry about.
It's a fact.
Like, I don't promote violence, but I just, as a Christian, that's the type of God I serve. I'm being very real. Like, I don't go to church, do patty cake around it. Like, no. In the Bible, yes, it teaches us to love our neighbors and to pray for our enemies. But to be very clear, David stood up to his enemy and slayed him and chopped his head off. Like, after they had finished marching around the walls of Jericho, like, they went in there and they slaughtered everybody. There comes a time when you got to ask yourself, who is the God that you serve, and what is this book that you're reading? Like, these pastors, like, we're all complicit in the problem, and that's why it can't be addressed. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think this officer is going, even if they use him as an example, I'm going to be real. I don't give a damn. That's not justice. It's not justice. That's not justice. Like, justice to me in the situation would be the death penalty.
The death penalty. Right?
Not only that, and not even only that, but I feel like, just like the commenter said, when they're playing this in the schools, it's not just important for us as African Americans to view this amongst ourselves, but, you know, one of the most uncomfortable experiences I feel like I had growing up in school and in life is when they did have Black history, like, talks in school, and you're the only Black person in the classroom, and all the white kids got to listen to all the shit that their ancestors did. Those little white motherfuckers in them schools need to hear exactly what's going on. Like, they need to hear Officer Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd in cold blood, and he did it because it's a black man. How do you feel about that, Timmy? Do an assignment about it. That's the type of stuff that we need to. Those are the type of uncomfortable conversations that we need to be having.
Yes.
Because if I can't depend on the Megan McCains, y'all gonna talk bad about it. If we can't depend on her to go in her home and raise her kid to understand and be respectful of other people in the society that we live, then we need to start doing it publicly. The same way that they make us have these classes now and sensitivity with racial dresses and all type of crazy crap is the same way that we should be having conversations about this and understanding the sensitivities and the complexities of race in America. Like we pick and choose, and I'm tired of it. Like I'm tired of it. And I know I'm kind of all over the place, but when I think about when I think about the cast of The View, this is kind of one of those things that pisses me off the most. With like Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin, it's like their acceptance and their readiness to defend like gay rights, abortions, advocate for all these things that most black people, I don't care. Like most black people they don't support. Like that's
we're conservative. We're conservative in those thoughts.
And it's to each his own, but most black people, if we want to be honest, do not support it. But when it comes to having conversations like this is when they want to start pussy popping around the issue. And the issue that we're having is really and truly like, no, y'all need to keep the same fire that y'all have for all these initiatives when it comes to black people. Make white motherfuckers uncomfortable the same way Megan McCain that makes y'all uncomfortable.
Right.
We can have an honest conversation where everyone doesn't walk away pissed off because we put it on the table. Like, that's what it is. George Floyd didn't have to die. And honestly, I mean, it's sad that the saddest part about it is, for me, honestly, is so many people watched it and they felt powerless. Like, that's scary to me. Like, I that's one of those things that I can go to bed and I can think about how scary it is to know that somebody took your power and they never even had it. Like, that's scary to me. Like, they could have stopped that.
Yes. I'm going to talk to you, Daniel. I'm not going to say it tonight because I'm sure we're going to link up and do more shows. Yeah. But I have a prisoner of war ideology when it comes to America and black people, right? And without going too deep, every conversation we have, just think about a prison. Think about a prison. We're in a prison. The officer is a guard in the prison, and George Floyd is a prisoner. So when the guard in a prison grabs a prisoner and puts him in a constraint, all the other prisoners just kind of stand back. Because we know if we harm this prison guard, then it's going to be rough and hard on all of us, right? So, like I said, I don't want to go too deep because I really speak about that a lot on my platform. Like, I think we are prisoners inside of a prison of America. And if you want to go deep, you even think about how we got inside of this prison. Like, we were kidnapped and brought inside of this prison. But, that's a conversation for a later day. And
But we're going to end it. Y'all make sure you leave your comments. Make sure that you're liking and subscribing to the channel.
Yes.
Make sure you're following us and leaving your comments and everything. Calvin, Mr. McGee, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna be on your platform hopefully soon. And you're always invited back here. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.